Welcome to the Robinson Replay. Today we're diving deep into the NBA, starting off the season, and today we have our first guest, Dan Briggs. What's up, Dan? Let's go.
Hey, I would say I'm a big fan of the show. Very excited to be here on the Robinson Replay.
It's awesome to have you, Daniel.
Happy to have you, our NBA analyst.
Yes, Brian Windhurst. I mean, Dan Briggs.
I'm a coach and a scout for many fantasy basketball teams that have been very successful. So I'm here to share my knowledge.
Amazing
Excellent.
track record. That's great. It's great to hear. Well, let's get our allegiance out of the way to begin with. My dad and I are Cleveland Cavaliers fans, and Dan, you are you're gonna show him right now, LA Lakers fan.
Even though it's backwards, I think I'm around here.
Yep.
All right. Well, that tells you a lot right there about Daniel's knowledge.
I'm a Lakers fan first. I'm an NBA fan second.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, when we talk basketball, I say, "Hey, Dan, what about that college?" Usually, Dan's like, "I don't know as much about college as I do NBA." So he knows his NBA. And we're going to touch a little bit on college here at the end, too, just to give a quick maybe top 25 and talk a little bit about the college ball coming up here very soon. It'll be before Thanksgiving it starts up. So
yeah, but this pod will be mostly the just NBA. We're going over this season that just rolled off last week. So we got games going on right now as we speak. We have some outstanding players are gonna come out of the woodworks, and then also some rookies. We're gonna have our predictions for the finals for this year as well, and so lots to pack in here. But first things first, you can't mention the NBA today without mentioning the scandal. So what's happening, Dan?
Chauncey Billups. What a surprise to see his name pop up on this, to see him hauled away. Thiago Splitter is taking over the coaching role in Portland because he is yanked out. His is not directly related to Terry Rozier. It's more poker games that happened in the Hamptons. Is that right, Mark?
Yes, with some mob influences.
Jeez.
The DeMarco family and a couple other families were involved in this also. So it's sort of weird how they were all sort of clumped together. I could see the number 2 and number 3 there. I could see Rozier and Jones. But for him to be pulled in there too was quite surprising.
But did I see that he was luring other players to games that were fixed? I thought I saw some other big NBA names, maybe Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, I didn't see. I know they said there's others out there, but they have not come forward with the exact names yet. But all I know is, listen, I'm sure there's some kind of shadiness going on in not only the NBA, but all sports, unfortunately. I'm sure somebody knows somebody that, hey, you're going to make me some money and I'm going to make you some money and you're my friend and I'm not going to tell anybody. And next thing you know, they're getting a little side cash. But the problem is when all these big people put all this money down at once, and that's what sends up a red flag. You put all this money in at once, and then next thing you know, it's a red flag, and the FBI and legal gambling places and everything are all looking at that. Just like with the Indians, the 2 pitchers they had. So it goes on everywhere. It's just the people that are getting caught, and because they're not doing it the way they're supposed to, even though they're not supposed to be doing it, period. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more of this going on that we won't even think of, and probably a longer list of players in, not only the NBA, but any sports, especially with sports betting and how widely now it is with so many different apps and ways
platforms,
to bet. Just so many different it's probably possibly even easier to hide something like that if you diversify your bets in certain ways and everything. So I don't know. I mean, it's greed at the end of the day, right? These players get paid millions of dollars, and yet they're still wanting to make some side money. But also, I thought to myself, maybe with that the mob influence like that, it got me thinking. Maybe possibly some of the players are being blackmailed in some way, right? Somebody's did something wrong that they'd be ashamed of, and they're holding something over them, or they're gambling and they have to pay back gambling debts, and so instead of paying it back, hey, just hit the under this game. So it could be that too.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the first two have quite a bit of money out of the three. Jones, he was more of a rollish kind of player for the Cavs, and he's a coach now. And don't get me wrong, he's a millionaire. But between the three of them, that's the one I would have. And that's the kind of player that you're gonna see come off the bench or do something. That would be the kind of guy that would try to do a deal like these. You shouldn't see the best players that are making $250 million or whatever $1 million to do that kind of stuff. But you never know.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate for the Miami Heat with Terry Rozier because he was traded from Charlotte. I don't know that they had knowledge of what issues were already going on. Now they're handcuffed with him. They're not allowed to replace his position at this point.
Wow,
His
that
salary
sucks.
is frozen, but they can't change that. They lost a first round draft pick to Charlotte with that trade, and I mean it looks
Oof.
like they're not going to
Oof.
get it. So they're
That's
in a tough position for the time being that they're kind of handcuffed.
yeah.
And if the league, if Adam Silver, if the league knew about it, was cooperating with authorities, that should have been information divulged before a trade was allowed between Charlotte and Miami. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
I agree.
But it sounds like this investigation has been going on for years now.
Yeah.
Well, it comes back to like March of 2023, I think. If it was, I mean, I think that's the game that he went out where he told some people, I'm going to leave, and everybody bet the money on the under. And there was spiked amounts that raised the red flags. I mean, they've got programs that watch all that stuff on the betting site. So for anybody to do that, I mean, you just ask it for trouble.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do y'all think in the future that this is going to be more prevalent, and they're just going to find different ways to do it on the side, or do you think this is going to set a precedent that players are not going to be able to do this at all?
Go ahead.
I would say, like Mark said, Damon Jones, you're going to find the guys on the lower end of the roster. Was it Porter's brother last year in Toronto? Didn't he get in trouble for dropping out of a game early? And there was betting things. He's been banned from the NBA. So that was just a small piece of what we're seeing here on this.
Right.
It's going to continue. Just does anybody get caught? That's the only way we're going to find out.
Right. And I know the commissioner says they're talking about doing some different ways to bet on sport, on NBA basketball, and they're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb and trying to figure out what the future holds for legal gambling. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Well, obviously huge headline for the NBA there. So yeah, like I said,
bad way to start the season.
Yeah,
bad way to start the season.
Bad press, but yeah.
So I would say just from this point, with this being the bad press right now, it kind of took away from the Kawhi Leonard story that happened over the summer.
That's true.
People maybe found out on how he was lured to the Clippers because he was paid $25 million from this made up business that
company.
He never made in the time. Yeah, and it's very, very interesting, but that's taken the shadows to this story now. But I'm sure we'll hear more about that during the NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I always think the Clippers owner, what's his name, Dan? Is it?
I was going to look that up earlier today.
Big bald guy.
Yeah.
Owner of Microsoft.
Right? I think he owns Microsoft. Yeah, he just seems like a shady dude to me. I don't know if it's just the way it looks, or I don't. You shouldn't just judge a book by its cover, but he just seems like a different kind of dude. That
Steve Ballmer.
Yes, that's it. And he marches to the beat of his own drum for sure. So
he's a funny guy.
I can see him doing something like that.
He might seem shady, but he's probably not as bad as Donald Sterling, the owner before him. We won't get into that.
Okay. Yeah, it could get much worse than that, probably. But yeah, okay. Enough with scandals here. Let's talk some ball here. Those are just distractions. So recapping last year, obviously we all know that the Oklahoma City Thunder rolled and beat the Pacers in the championship here. What was surprising? What are some takeaways from last season?
For me, it was Oklahoma City being the youngest team in the league. I think they averaged as the youngest team. To see them gel, the players they added, to watch Shea become the MVP that he is, and he's still continuing in MVP form this season. The unfortunate part for the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7. I think we saw a lot of injuries during the playoffs that are going to hamper some teams this year. But it was an exciting playoffs. Oklahoma City had to go 7 games with Denver to just get past the first round. Uh, and it was just a crazy playoffs. The Knicks, I mean, the Celtics, Cleveland, all of those teams were deserving to be in the finals. And I can say I was surprised the Pacers were the team that showed up. But it was great for the NBA. It was great playoff basketball, and I was happy to see OKC win their first championship.
Yeah, I agree. OKC was definitely there are a bunch of young little studs there. I'll tell you that. And the thing is, last year I really thought the Pacers made it to the finals just because they were tough and scrappy as hell. I mean, they were so scrappy. They were diving loose balls. They're very, very physical, and that's what you need is you need some physical basketball in the NBA finals in order to make it to the finals, no doubt. But OKC, they hung on there to win it all in 7.
Yeah, I was super surprised if you would have told me in the beginning of the season that this would be the finals right here. I'd be like, no way. But the Pacers team, I had really enjoyed watching the Pacers in the playoffs. You know, whenever they get down, they just get hot. There's like no team can go on a run like the Pacers did in the playoffs, besides maybe OKC, who ended up defeating them with Shea and all the young cats there. So it was a fun playoffs. So, but obviously the small market teams won at the end of the day, being in the finals. I know that was a storyline, but the Knicks also were trying to make a run potentially. So I don't know. It could be something similar this year. Could be some big market teams here. I don't know.
That's one nice thing about the NBA is it really doesn't matter what market you're in. It's different than baseball and some of the other sports kind of thing. That with the NBA, with the way they have their
Mm-hmm.
cap and the way they have everything laid out, that everybody sort of has a shot at the beginning. Obviously, some have more loaded teams than others, but the way they do the ping pong balls for the draft, and it's not just you're tanking at the end of the year to get that number one pick. It's not guaranteed you're going to have that number one pick because of the ping pong balls and everything. So it throws things around. So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
really like about the way the NBA is set up, and it gives those small market guys a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, talking about this year now, so we got the Eastern and Western conferences here in the NBA. So what are some teams that you think are going to do really well in the East this year?
Mark, do you want to start out?
I'll let our guest start. I'm
How
letting you
kind
go.
of you.
So we jump to the Atlantic and the Eastern. I mean, 76ers are 4-0 right now. Tyrese Maxey is playing like an MVP, but
He's awesome right now.
my inside thought is they're not as good as a 4-0 start. They played some bad teams. They barely beat the teams. They barely beat Washington, Charlotte. Paul George hasn't played yet. You're going to see Embiid every other game. He might play 25 minutes a game now. I don't know. They've got a great young rookie. EJ is doing good. He's probably the favorite to be rookie of the year, or close to it now with his performance thus far. Me, Cooper might be just a hair above them, but I don't see them continuing on the streak that they're on right now.
Right.
Going to be the favorite in the Atlantic. Jalen Brunson, that guy can. He would be the guy I would pick number one to be my fourth quarter guy, to be my point guard, to be my guy in the last 3 minutes of the game over anybody in the NBA. Jalen Brunson would probably be the guy I want. They're going to have a strong season. I don't know if they're going to do as well as last year. Fortunately, Boston is probably going to drop down. I think they're 0-3 already. Jason Tatum, unfortunate Achilles tear in the round one of the playoffs last year. I don't think they have the supporting cast. They lost Luke Cornett, great guy that comes in off the bench. They traded Drew Holiday to Portland for Anthony Simmons. I heard he's not a great teammate right now. He's coming off the bench, so we'll see if he can perform as well in Boston as he did in Portland. But I don't think the Knicks have anything to worry about of winning the Atlantic Conference. You want me to continue through the whole East, or do you guys want to jump?
Go ahead.
Shoot it.
Go to the Central. This is my favorite division. My twin brother's a Pistons fan, so I'm a shadow Pistons fan. That's the first team I remember watching when I was a young kid. Pistons, let's see if they can do what they did last year. Kate Cunningham's starting off good. He's back in the lineup. They're waiting on Jaden Ivory to come back. Jalen Duren's a double-double machine when he's in there. They got old man Tobias Harris still hanging around, putting up solid numbers. So I think you're going to see the Pistons do good this year, just not as good as last year. Giannis from Milwaukee, man, I watched him last night. He is playing like a man possessed. He looks like he's on a mission this year. They got Miles Turner from Indiana, so I think that's going to support him in the center role. They got Brook Lopez out of there. The old man went to, where is he at? The Clippers now on the bench, I think. But
Yep.
And who was the guy last night? Ryan Rollins, former Toledo Rocket.
Is it? Yeah, nice.
Last night we had Forrest
Rockets.
He is representing. He's on a 2-year contract. I'm going to represent Toledo a few times in this podcast. That's going to be the first one.
Whoa. You don't hear that very often for anything.
So, I know. That's why I want to call it out. So it was exciting to see him do well. He's on a 2-way contract, but Milwaukee started off good. Are they 3-1? What is Milwaukee? Are they
Milwaukee's 3-1.
It's 3-1.
3-1. So they started off and watching Giannis play last night, like he might be number 2 of my MVP voting, which I won't say who my other person is just yet. So that division, Chicago started off well. I don't think they're going to do great. I've left Cleveland for last. We're not even going to talk about Indiana. They're struck in with injuries. Halliburton's probably out the entire season, so they don't even. But Cleveland looks tough. I'm a little disappointed watching the first half of this game against Boston, who is not a good team. Oh, they're only down by 11 right now, Mark.
Yeah, I know. They still are soft as butter. They got to get tough.
But and they have some injuries. Do they have everybody back? Are they waiting on Garland to return? Right?
The Cavs are waiting on Merrill, who got hurt last game in the third quarter, has a hip injury. So he's been on fire at the big start of the year, too. And when he went out last game, matter of fact, it cost me my bet, too. All I needed him was for 13. He got 11. And, but yeah, Merrill's out for, probably just a little bit. But Garland's out. He had the great toe injury, surgery. Strauss is out. He had a Jones fracture. I don't see these guys coming back till probably the beginning of January. But that'd be my guess right now. I know, obviously these guys are cutting and moving quickly all the time, and your feet are, get you in the seats. So if their feet aren't good, they're not going to be able to play well. So I especially the way that Garland is he's like a little puppeteer out there with the ball, and the way he cuts and moves, I don't see them coming back till they're 1,000% healthy, because you don't want to re-aggravate or re-injure those feet, and then they can't play at all. So I say first of the year they'll come back.
Well, I think they're going to stay strong. I still want to see them at least at a 4 seed or better for Cleveland to get into the playoffs, but they'll be there for sure. The city's behind them. Mark Robinson's behind them. So I don't think there's any fear that they're not going to get in there. And I get to go to a game here later in November, December. So I'm going to go see them play the Pacers, which I'm excited about. Chicago
in Cleveland?
In Cleveland.
Nice.
Chicago Bulls, last one I'm going to mention is for the Central. Josh Giddey is now at the helm as the point guard. He should probably have a career year, but I just don't see them being that good. They started off, what are they? 3-0. They're undefeated right now. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. The city should be happy, but it's not
So
gonna.
you like the Aussie? Isn't he from Australia?
He is from Australia. I
Yes.
liked him when he was at Oklahoma, but
Uh-huh.
now that they got some people down, I just don't see that Chicago has enough people to. They might get a 7 or an 8 seed, but they're not going to go any farther than that.
I agree.
So I'll jump into the Southeast. I'll let you guys talk, and then I'll stop throwing my words around. Miami Heat has started off hot. They're 3-1.
No pun intended there, Daniel.
They're on fire. The Heat. Um, they they have a good, solid team. They're going to be the best team in the Southeast. Bam Adebayo, he's doing good. What's his name? Yaquis had a good game last night. Who's playing because I think they have some injuries.
Hero is out until probably end of January, beginning of February. They said.
Yeah, I think they said another 8 to 12 weeks, which we're going to assume 12 weeks for him. So if they're playing good in the beginning before he comes back, I mean, they're really going to step it up from there. So we'll see how that continues. Charlotte is 2-2 right now. Charlotte is horrible. They should be bottom 5 teams. I don't know if you guys saw any highlights from yesterday. LaMelo Ball. I mean, if he can stay healthy, they can be competitive. But he kicked the ball once last night into another player's face. He got a foul call, offensive foul called on him last night, and he flicked off the ref. I'm sure he's going to have a fine for that. I mean, he's at an age now where he needs to be professional. He's not 18, 19 years old. There's no reason for that. He's the face of the Charlotte team right now. So it's just embarrassing for the team. They do have Miles Bridges, who's sticking it out there. I think he's a Michigan State guy. He's going to continue to put up good numbers, but they just can't be competitive in the end to have a good winning record. Mark, I think they have a rookie on the team from Duke.
They have 2 rookies from Duke. Zion James and Con Knippel. And Con Knippel can stroke the 3. I think he had 4 threes last night. He is good.
He is going to get some minutes, so he is definitely going to be in the discussion later on the rookie of the year. But, it just sees how the year plays out. Washington, you can't even talk. They're not even in the discussion to even bring up. Atlanta, I feel bad for Trae Young. They either got to decide to stay with him or move on from him because what they're building around him is not going to take them any farther than a 7-8 seed if they can even make the playoffs. Who else did they get? They got Porzingis, and guess what? He's already missed some games this season. So what a surprise! The tall, lanky guy is already missing games. I was surprised. I didn't realize he went there until a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "What is he doing in Atlanta? Do they have a team? Oh, they're still playing, but they're not going to be."
Right.
That's my recap for the East. I'll let you guys share what.
All
you
right,
think.
I'll do a little overview of what I think about the East real quick, and I'm gonna give you the top 2, I think, from each bracket there: Atlantic, Central, Southeast. Like real quick, I think the number 1 and 2 seed right there is going to be the Knicks and the 76ers. Definitely, they're the best 2 teams there. I think the Knicks are gonna they're a tough team. That's why I think that they're going to do really well in the East. Like you said, with the Celtics, with Tatum out, and they lost a couple guys that, like you said, they lost, who's the old man center they had? Dan? No, the other one.
Horford went to Golden State.
Horford. I mean, even though he's an old dude and everything, the guy was steady.
Can't believe he's still playing.
Yeah, I know. He's been around for.
I was gonna say Al Horford. I was like, wait, he's got to be done.
He's been around for 35 years, but I tell you what, he's a little glue that holds the team together. There's certain things like that when you start losing little pieces, that it just seems to go off the rails a little bit for him, and that's why they just don't have the depth that they did a year ago. So that's why I didn't put them in my top 2. The big thing with the Sixers, obviously, is to stay healthy. They like Dan said, Paul George and McCain, also a Duke boy. He's supposed to be coming back here soon too. Both of them are coming back anytime. So, and if they stay healthy, they will be a presence in the Atlantic, no doubt. But if they don't, Embiid, like you said, he's a crystal chandelier. You never know what's going to happen with him. Now to the Central, I think it's a 2-pony race there. I think it's the Cavs and Bucks. Like Dan said, Antetokounmpo, is that how you say his name?
Giannis.
Antetokounmpo. Giannis. Yeah. Okay.
Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo. Thank you, Luke. You're my translator. Antetokounmpo. I mean, like you said, he is so focused. When they've been doing interviews with him, unbelievable. I mean, and they have a younger, more scrappy kind of team this year than they have. They got rid of Middleton. They got rid of Lopez. They got some new young youth in there a little bit, and I really see a little spark on their team this year. So that's why I was thinking for them for 2 and the Cavs for 1. Once again, the Cavs, they're sometimes they're cream puffs. I love the agility of Mobley and everything, and obviously Mitchell's a stud. And for them, it's just the toughness, getting good rebounds. These guys are both 6'11", him and what's his name? What's your center? Jared Allen. Yes, thank you. But he's cream puffy, and he doesn't get a good box out, get solid. So that's the reason I'm going to stick with them number 1 in just the Central for that reason. And then in the Atlantic, to me it's up in the air. Or not the Atlantic, Southeast. It's up in the air. It should be the Magic that comes out of there, and then the Heat, or it could be the Heat and then the Magic. But those would be my top 2. You don't know. Magic has come out flat so far this year. They don't look the best. But the Heat, once again, if they're in it come February, and they get Hero back, I think they could be okay for sure. And by the way, the reason I didn't say anything about the Pacers, who was our runner-up last year in the finals, it's just that they're devastated with injuries, and they lost Turner, which I think is a very important part to their team. So that's why I'm not really right now. They're so banged up. They got Halliburton out. They got Mathurin out. They got McConnell out. They got Nemhard out. They got Toppin out. They are a crash unit right now. So that's why most of those guys up except for Halliburton will be back this year. But I don't know. I just don't see them all together getting back to the NBA finals. And that's my Eastern predictions.
Yeah, I'll just give a quick 2 teams per division here. I'll let the pros get into the details. You guys did a great job, so I won't bore y'all. But for the Eastern Atlantic, I'm gonna go with the Knicks and the 76ers. The Central, going the Cavs and the Bucks, and then the Southeast. This is probably the worst division. I think easily the worst division ever in any sport right now. But if I had to pick any team, I would pick the Heat and the Hornets. I think the Hornets.
Ooh, you like Con Knipple, that's why. That's right.
That's such a funny name.
Well,
I love it.
The Heat have won some NBA championships, so to say that that's the worst division, I don't know about that. I think I forgot to even talk about the Orlando Magic, but I will say that, like, even Paolo's on that team. That guy continues to grow. He's had a bad start to the season, but Franz Wagner, I love saying Wagner. Like he by far the MVP on that team. He controls the pace of the game. And his brother Mo, I think, is coming back, who was drafted by the Lakers, should be coming back this week or next week, hopefully. So hopefully they improve, because I'm a Magic fan. But it's nice to see the Wagner brothers.
Yeah. But you did say Ben Caro, which is, of course, another Dookie. So I don't know. Something about those Duke guys.
They're all over.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the Western Conference here. So in the Northeast, what do we think?
All right,
Northwest, I'm sorry.
I'll try to go through real quick on mine and not take up so much time. So Denver, I'm just looking at your list here. So Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to be top in that division. That's going to be a tough division. Minnesota is going to try and compete. They did well. They were in the conference finals last year for the West. Denver's always going to compete as long as the Joker's healthy. He is putting up some ridiculous numbers. He's averaging a triple-double again already. I think he's leading in assists, and he's close to top in rebounds. He's up there too. So they're going to compete. They did lose Porter to Brooklyn, who did we even talk about Brooklyn? We didn't even need to.
There's a team in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned.
I didn't think
Brooklyn
there's
at
a
all.
team in Brooklyn.
They still field the team. So Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not the youngest team anymore. They're like fourth or fifth in terms of youngest team, I think, this year. But they're still going to be the favorite to beat. They're 5-0 out of the gate. If Shea doesn't have a great game, Chet's going to have a great game. If Holmgren can stay healthy this year, man, he was a beast on game one. He looks like he's bulked up maybe 10 pounds, but he still looks pretty skinny when he's out there. But he's just expanding his game. He's getting more involved. So he's going to have a great season alongside, and they're going to do great. Denver's behind them. For Utah, Utah is predicted to be second to last in records for the entire league. So Lauri Markkanen, former Cleveland Cavalier, former Chicago Bull, is stuck out there. He's under his contract, but he had 51 points. Was that last night? And he's the first player to score over 50 points for the Utah Jazz since Karl Malone in 1998. It's a long
Oh,
time. But
Wow,
that's a
what a
stat.
stat! Yeah.
who else do they have out there? I mean, they've got Keontae George, who is doing very good. I think he's in his third season. He's probably going to have a career year as a crappy team with extra minutes. But they just don't have a chance. If they're going for drafts next year, that's just a rebuilding year for them. Portland maybe should be the last team, maybe third to last.
Since they
Poor
don't have a
Drew
coach.
Holiday. I think that's Thiago Splitter taking over. He is a renowned coach from France who's now in his first year
Oh,
coaching in the NBA.
wow. Another flyer out there for Daniel with the France.
That's where he got his experience before he came back. I don't know if you guys remember, he was song for San Antonio for many years. Um, Portland. So anyway, they don't have anybody. They got a host of guys that could score 15 points a game. Drew Holiday's there. Klingon at center. He's going to get some minutes this year, so you're going to see a better year from him. But they just won't be able to compete. I do think that Jeremy Grant, who's the Trailblazers are handcuffed to because of his contract, he's going to be coming off the bench this year. But I think he's going to be a good candidate for sixth man of the year, even though Portland is going to be not good. Ant-Man is already out for Minnesota. He's already injured. He's going to be out for a couple weeks at least. So that's going to hurt them to see if they've got enough other talent to compete. But that's my take on the Northwest. I think it's going to be Oklahoma, Denver, Minnesota, top three teams for there. Moving into the Pacific, Lakers Pacific. Golden State is surprising me starting out. Steph has a little pep in his step that he's starting out. He doesn't have to play all the minutes if they get enough. Jimmy Butler's going to play a full season there this year. So I think they have a very good chance to top the Pacific this year. You mentioned earlier they added old man Al Horford, who's produced some good minutes off the bench for them so far. So I think you're going to see Golden State shine again this year in the West. Lakers, I think, can handle number two if Luka can stay healthy, if LeBron comes back from he can throw his cane down from the sciatica and get back out on the court. We'll see what can happen. They've got some injuries. They've had some issues too. They've got a few guys out, but Austin Reeves has been playing like a beast so far. He just had a 51-point game. He just had, did he have a 47-point game? So,
yeah, he's had two really good games, really good games. And I hope he has a real good game tonight too.
Well, they have a game
Just
tonight
saying.
against Minnesota, and I saw that if he can score over 40 tonight, he'd be only the second player ever to score 3 consecutive games of 40 points. Who do you think that other player was for the Lakers? Over 40.
Current?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Past. Just
in the past? Magic.
40
Kobe.
points.
Yeah. That's true. Magic never scored a lot of points. That's true. I mean, he did score a lot of points, but not, yeah, Kobe makes sense.
And Luka, for his first two games before he was out, he had 47 and 49, but he had highest two-game point total to start the season for the Lakers that topped Jerry West from 1969, 1970 season.
You seem to know a lot about the Lakers.
I catch a lot of little stats when I'm.
I didn't know you knew so much about the Lakers. That's crazy.
So it was an exciting start, but I knew he hurt his finger in that game. I didn't think it would keep him out, but he's probably going to be out for another 1 to 2 weeks. Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker's still going to continue to put up numbers in the shadows and continue to climb on the all-time records of points and everything else. He's got many seasons to go, but they Who else did they get? They got Dylan Brooks from Houston and Jalen Green, who's yet to play. Hopefully, Jalen Green is back in the next week or two.
Suns.
But they're not going to do good. But a shout out, was it the Suns? Shout out for the Suns, Nigel Hayes, who went to Europe, came back again. He's a graduate of Whitmer High School right here in Toledo, Ohio. He is
Hey.
two or 3 year contracts with the Suns.
Really?
He's going to have a contributing part on that.
He's been around a while now. You know, I want to tell this story real quick. So when I was coaching at Leverett, we went in and we played Whitmer at times. At the time, it was Jefferson Junior High or whatever it was, and he was on the team, and he came out dunking on us in junior high. Nigel Hayes.
Oh.
And he was dunking on us. And let me tell you what, that was a sight for sore eyes. We got our butts handed to us. So that was, scary. But yeah, I knew a long time ago he was going to be pretty good. And then he went to Wisconsin, and then, he's been a floater all around the NBA, Europe, and everywhere else for several years. I don't even know how many years he's been playing now.
I think he's 31, but he really made it in the NBA. He floated around. He got a couple of games. He never had a lot of minutes. So he's been in Europe for some years.
Mostly.
He was MVP at the championship of one of the European leagues this past year. Had such a great season. He got a chance with Phoenix, so very excited to represent Whitmer and Toledo, Ohio again.
Yeah, TOL.
EDO.
And the Sacramento Kings, first-year coach Doug Christie, Russell Westbrook is now in the starting lineup there, if that tells you anything on the status of that team. Those guys have Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. They went to the Chicago experiment that didn't work and brought the same 2 players in. So I'm not sure what upper management was thinking with that. If it didn't work in Chicago, how's it going to work there? I feel bad for
Good call.
Sabonis is going to continue to put up double numbers. He's going to be a beast in the stats, a beast on the fantasy league teams, but they just won't be able to compete. The West is way too strong. The West, so many good teams. If you put the Kings in the East, they'd probably finish 5 or 6 in the East. But because the West is so strong, they might be a play-in position, but they're probably not even going to make the playoffs.
They're 1-3 so far.
The Clippers are off to a slow start at 2-2. They did get Brook Lopez as a backup center to Ibaka, who Zubac is going to continue to do big numbers, doubles. He had a great year last year. He's going to have a great year this year. Can Kawhi stay healthy? James Harden, I just feel like he's on the decline. He still comes out and tries to run the ball, but I don't think he can do it anymore. Clippers are going to slowly dissipate, I think, after this season, but I don't see them. I think they were picked higher than the Lakers, but I just can't say it out loud. That's not going to happen. Moving on to the Southwest, I'll make this one quick. San Antonio Spurs, top of that division. Wembanyama,
stud.
If he stays healthy, that guy's going to be an MVP. Teams are going to be trying to figure out how to guard this guy. I think he's averaging like 4.8 blocks a game. Is he at 30 points, 31 points a game? Like 13 rebounds.
How many blocks did he have a game recently? He had stupid amount of blocks lately. I mean, he can do triple doubles with blocks. He's just that good.
I watched him in game 1, the first game of their season, and he's put on a little weight. You can't tell he actually grew 2 inches over the summer.
Wembanyama?
He did. He grew 2 inches over the summer, so he's now listed 2 inches taller than he was last year.
So what is he, 7'4"?
I think they're listing him at 7'4", 7'5" now. But he looks like a beast. He was taking hits. He was doing down low more than shooting threes. He was pounding on the baseline. He was taking the hits from the defense. He was just throwing it down. I don't know how anybody can stop him. I mean, he is just a unicorn. He's a freak of nature. I hope that he can stay healthy for many years to come because it's very exciting for the NBA. Outside of that division, I mean, it's a train wreck in that division. The Rockets are not going to be good. Kevin Durant's there. I just don't see them doing much. For the Houston Rockets, last shout out for Toledo, Jason Tate, who got some minutes. I don't think he's going to get as many minutes this year. He's going to be coming off the bench. He was born in Toledo, so there's another Toledo shout out for a Rockets player. But they're just not a great team. I don't think they have enough supporting cast. Grant's going to hopefully have a good season, but I think he's 37 now. Because he might be 37, so he's getting up there. Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie Irving out until early next year, maybe January, maybe February. Cooper Flag I just don't see them having enough power to compete in the West against the other teams. Cooper Flag has a good start. He hadn't had great games. And I see maybe he hurt his shoulder the other day, and he had a low stat line, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but he's had some great dunks so far. You got Davis at center. Davis is going to take advantage of his opportunity right now. He's going to try to show up. The trade, which I don't think will ever be recouped, because Luka is going to be a Laker hopefully for the foreseeable future. I know at least 3 years. Davis is going to have a big season though. So if you're a fantasy coach and you want a player, if you don't already have him, Davis is going to put up some numbers this year. John Morant, I mean, he's the only guy. They just don't have a great team. They've got Jackson, the other guy that can't stay healthy.
Yep.
If he could stay healthy, he'd be a beast, but you'd be lucky to get 50 games out of him in a season. New Orleans, they dismantled their roster last year and came out hoping. He started out good, but he's already missed a
He's
game.
already hurt.
How's that going to go? I think it's a toe injury, right, Mark?
Yeah, and the guy can't stay healthy, and he's even lost weight too, and he's a dookie too. But yeah, he's been disappointing. Obviously, I mean he was always been built like an offensive lineman, and you just can't hold up in the 82 game season and then go play in the playoffs, and even though they don't ever make the playoffs, but I mean you just can't last when you're that big. You need to. There's a fine line between too big and too little. You got to be somewhere in the middle. So
I feel bad for the New Orleans fan base because I think this is a rebuilding year when they've had some opportunities to shine. They just didn't stay healthy. But Herb Jones, Trey Murphy the third is gonna have good seasons down there. But if Zion can stay healthy, they can maybe compete in some games. But they're gonna be the bottom of the barrel for the West. So that's unfortunate. So recap for me: Oklahoma City Thunder in the Northwest, Golden State in the Pacific, and the Spurs easily in the Southwest.
Who'd you have in the Pacific? Golden State.
Golden State. They just Jimmy Butler having a full season. I just think they added enough pieces. They got some young guys that Kuminga can get along with Kerr enough to stay in the starting lineup, or if they use him as a trading piece later in the season to get somebody. They're just setting themselves up, but I think Golden State's going to have their best season here in a few years.
All right, I'll go real quick through mine here with the Western Conference. It's a two-show pony. It's Thunder. It's the Nuggets. These two teams just go back and forth at each other. But once again, the Thunder's depth is just really, it's unreal. So those are my two teams for the Northwest and the Pacific. I tell you what, I don't really like any of them. I'm gonna be completely honest. I just think the Warriors are too old, and I think the Lakers are, with the way with Luka and LeBron with the injuries now, it's just I just don't see a lot there, but those would be the two teams that if I had to pick two teams that would come out and at least make the playoffs. And then in the Southwest, I really had high expectations for Dallas, especially after they got Flag and everything, but they're really missing Irving. They're missing a real point guard, which they've been putting Cooper Flag at point guard, and I have no idea really why. Never played point guard in college. So they just need that orchestra leader there in the front to get them going, I think. And the Spurs, they are big, they're tall, they're young, they're athletic. I really like the Spurs. I mean, they got that Vassell. Is it Vassell, Dan? He's really good. They got that Castle kid from last year. He's really good. I don't know. They look legitimate to me, and like you said, But it's all about Wembanyama. If he stays healthy and stays in there and is able to play, 78, 75 games, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. So those are my teams for the Western.
Man, the Western Conference is so much better than the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's almost like we need to kind of dismember the Eastern and Western and just have a one full league. I mean, playoff implications. There's going to be some really good teams in the West that are not going to make it at all. Which, if they were in the Eastern, they'd be one of the top seeds probably. So it's crazy to see, but it's been like this now for the past couple years, really. So, but for the Northwest, sticking with the Thunder rolling for the season, and then the Nuggets. I think those are two obvious there. And the Northwest and the Pacific taking the Warriors and the Lakers. I really like the Warriors this year. Like you were saying, Steph has a pep in his step, really. And I think the Warriors are always going to be good with Steph leading the home there. The Southwest, the Spurs and Wemby. It's just crazy to see Wemby out there. He's just like a freak. It's insane there. And then I'll go the Mavericks as well with Cooper Flag potentially doing a little good. Did I copy you verbatim?
Verbatim.
Yeah, those are some pretty obvious choices, I guess.
They are, but it's just like you're in both conferences. You're looking for that team to really step up. You know what I mean? That team that's going to come out of nowhere. That you're like, they're just finally putting it together. So it's hard to find that team.
Yep, just the beginning of the season, so who knows? All of this could be trash in a couple weeks if there's some of this.
I don't
of
think
that.
it's gonna be trash in a couple weeks. You're definitely going to see the big boys there at the end. You'll see them. So
okay, feeling confident there. All right.
By the way, Cavs lost 125-105. They looked terrible.
Man. Well, some next talking point here is some of the rookies. This is the top 5 in the draft class. I know we were talking a little bit about Cooper Flag on Dallas before. I talked about VJ on Philadelphia. What do you think about? What do you think about rookies this year? Who's going to win Rookie of the Year?
I tell you, if I had to pick right this second, I'd pick VJ. I mean, but it's all about if they're able to sustain throughout the year. It's a long season. These guys are used to playing 35 games or so in college. It's an 82 game season. It's a long time. Their bodies aren't used to the wear and tear. So, we'll see. But as of right now, I'd have to say VJ just after the first week. He's been obviously the best player. But I think they need to put Flag in his right spot. And then maybe he might boost his stock up a little bit for Rookie of the Year. But that'd be my go-to right now.
Yeah, so I'd agree with Mark. VJ has just started off great. I mean, he's going to continue in the role that he is. Dylan Harper has done great for San Antonio. He's been a surprise. He's got more minutes because Darian Fox is not back yet from injury, which we didn't even mention, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good.
So Dylan is making a case for himself down there on producing right now that they're going to have to continue to give him minutes through the year. But I think in the end, it's going to come down to VK and Cooper. Cooper's going to gel with the team. They're going to figure out how to use him. The players are going to have more time out on the court together. So it's going to come down to VJ and Cooper, I think, ultimately. But I'm gonna stay with VJ.
Hey Dan, has Ace Bailey been playing much for the Utah? Do you know?
I think he's got limited minutes. I don't think he has a major role yet.
Right. Yeah, I was just curious about him because he was always the one in the draft that everybody was like, then they picked him. They weren't sure if he wanted to be there or not, and so I was wondering how that relationship was going with those two.
I think the coach in Utah, Will Hardy, I think he's only in his second season, but I think he's one that's going to bring him along slowly. I don't think he's just going to throw him in and give him 30 minutes a game. So I think you might see more time as the season goes on, but I I don't think they're going to throw him to the wolves because Utah is not going to be a good team.
Yeah, I'm going Cooper Flag. I'll just be a number one pick bandwagon here for the Dukies.
That's right, Dukies, baby, all day. That's right. We're all three Duke fans too. So that's right.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Well, briefly talking about the MVP race here and some outstanding players. We got some of the best players in each position here. Who do we think is going to be in this MVP race? Who's going to win the MVP, and who's maybe going to be a surprising player, maybe most improved player in the league this year?
Well, that's interesting. So I'm looking at the slide you put up here. I mean, Shea's going to be at the top of the list. He's reigning MVP right now. Luka, maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove something since coming to the Lakers full first season. If he can stay healthy, he's put up some amazing numbers in the first 2 games. Again, you'd have to have the team record to go along with that. I think an MVP represents the team in all factors in terms of winning and providing, all types of scoring, rebounds. So Luka's up in that conversation for me. Donovan Mitchell, I mean, that guy's a stud. Cleveland was such a surprise to me at the beginning of the season last year. Kind of came to say, like, they are a really good team. This isn't a joke. He's a big reason for that. And if he can do that again this season, his name should definitely be thrown in the hat. Who else is LeBron's too old? Durant's too old. Giannis, the way Giannis has started this season right now, he would be probably the second. I think I said it earlier. He's probably the second highest player on my list for MVP rate. Joker's always going to be in the talk. He's averaging a triple double easily right now. He's leading the league in assists. Like, how does that happen? He's just all over the place. But Wembanyama, if he continues on the tear that he is, and San Antonio continues to do good, he is by far, in my mind, the leader for the MVP race at this point.
What do you think, Dad?
Well, I have six guys. My six are Shea, Joker, Luka, Wembanyama, Curry, and Giannis. Now, the only reason I got Curry in there is if he leads them and he is healthy and their team does well, he will be the main reason why. So, like Dan said, not only do you have to be a real good player, most of the time you're going to be in a pretty doggone good team. Usually goes hand in hand. So the last couple years, it's been Shea or Joker. If I had to pick right now, I would probably take Joker, Shea, Webb. Those are my three in that order as of right this second. That could change, obviously, based upon injuries, team play, but that would be my top three.
Yeah, I really agree with that. I think as well with Steph potentially if he does lead the Warriors to one of the best records in the league, that he could be deserving of that later in his career. LeBron's too old, even though LeBron should have won many more MVPs. But he's not going to win it. I think it's just the past couple of years. It's been the same people again and again. It's Giannis, it's Joker, it's Shea now. So I'd like to see something different. What was that?
Joel Embiid from Philly, but he'll never win it again.
No,
Yeah,
he can barely run up the court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, the Lakers are on now, Daniel.
Yeah, I got it on there.
I'm sure you're taping it.
But I'd like to see something different this year. So I'm gonna pick my MVP pick as Wemby. So
definitely could be.
That's my pick. Some different first MVP. That'd be pretty crazy. If not, I'd like to see Luka get it as well. But that's what I'd like to see. But probably won't happen. But good. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So now on to our finals predictions for this year here. So this is the betting lines here for the favorite to win in the NBA championship this year. Obviously you got the Thunder up top, reigning champions. Cleveland's right behind them. Nuggets, Knicks, Rockets, Lakers, Clippers, some of the favorites there. Who do we think is going to be in the finals, and who do you have as the winner?
For me, I'm going to go with the Eastern Conference first. I think it's going to come down to Milwaukee and New York Knicks in the finals. I think Milwaukee's going to move on and get back to the finals again. In the West, I see San Antonio and Oklahoma City. I think that we're going to see Wembanyama carry the team. We're going to see OKC return to the conference finals. And I like to see something different, but I think Oklahoma City's going to move on to the finals again against Milwaukee. But I'm going to make a prediction Milwaukee's going to be NBA champions for 2025-26 season.
Whoa,
Wow.
damn.
Wow.
Who the hell are you?
Plus 6,000. Jeez,
Dang,
cash it in.
you better put that bet in now.
It is already placed.
Wow, good for you. Well, for me, it's unfortunately, I in the East, I just don't think the Cavs are tough enough. I really don't. So I think it's going to come down to the Bucks and the Knicks, and I just think the Knicks are tougher. I really like the Knicks. They just play a good brand of ball. They got inside, outside. They got height. They got the veteran. I see the Knicks and the East, and in the West, I Thunder and Nuggets. Unfortunately, unless I San Antonio was a close second for me. But I tell you what, if somehow the Spurs make it to the finals, to the final two in the West, they definitely could go all the way to the final. So I don't think they'll make it there just because I think Denver will hold them off. So I'm going to say OKC Nuggets in the West, and then I have OKC winning it all over the Knicks in 6.
6, very very specific there.
Yes.
Okay. So for the West, I'm gonna go with OKC and the Warriors. Actually, I think that the Warriors are gonna make a surprising run this year on us, and then in the East, I think the Cavs. I know you're pessimistic about them right now, Dad, but you watch them so much that
I've
just
watched every game of theirs so far this year, and it's
yeah, you're hard on them. You're a
I
little
am
tough
hard
on
on
them.
them. Just
Yeah,
always.
yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Cavs and the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. I think those should be the two teams there. I think those are the two best teams in the East probably. And then for the finals matchup, I'm gonna go with the Warriors and the Cavs.
You better place that Warriors bet then. And the Cavs,
Yeah,
the Warriors and the
Warriors
Cavs.
and the Cavs. Ring a bell?
Boy, you better. Yeah, it does, but you better put that bet in now, son.
Yeah, that'd be a great bet. So we're coming up on a decade since 2016, and so 10 years after the curse is broken and Cleveland gets
This is
a
the 10-year
championship.
replay.
This is the 10-year replay,
Oh, like
and
the Robinson
Donovan.
replay.
Yeah,
All right.
like the Robinson replay, and Donovan Mitchell is going to lead the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2026, a decade after
Yeah.
LeBron did, lead
Not if
them
they
to
play
a
like they did
championship.
tonight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, obviously I'm biased here, but that's my pick is the Cavaliers all the way. So
Okay.
I pray. I
Well,
pray.
I hope you're right. To be honest with you, I mean, I would be very happy with that. Mhm.
That'd be great. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for the NBA. Just a quick synopsis here of some college hoops. I don't think we know college hoops too well. College hoops really haven't started up quite yet.
Well, the big thing is this with college hoops. College hoops change every single year because if you're really good and you're in college, you're gone after your first year. So it changes the whole dynamic every year. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some guys that stay and play a little longer, but if you're that good, you're going to the NBA after your first year. So the college landscape does change. Obviously, certain teams though are the blue bloods, the normal teams that you always see that are up there. And that's why it's so hard to predict who's going to be that good. And, who's going to come in is the big key of what recruiting out of high school is huge. And if you get those couple studs that come in, it could change your whole team. But I'm going to go over the top 25 here real quick. And we'll just be real quick here with it. The top 25, they have number 1 is Purdue, number 2, Houston, 3, Florida, 4, UConn, 5, St. John's, 6, Duke, 7, Michigan, 8, BYU, 9, Kentucky, and 10, Texas Tech. We're just going to go up to the top 10 there. So right off the bat, that tells you a couple things. Number 1, Purdue is a veteran team. Right now they have this little point guard. Little dude is amazing. He's like a maestro out there. His name is Herden, something like that. He's very, very, very good. And they have it. That's the thing with Purdue. They're not a team that they bring in all these 5-star guys. Their guys stick around a little longer, so they gel a little bit more together, and they stick around. So that makes them the number 1 team going into the preseason this year. Houston, once again, they were the runners up last year. They lost a couple guys, but they kept a good core, so that's why they have them at number 2. And then your Florida Gators, obviously they won it all last year. They lost a couple guys, but once again, they still have a good core, and they had a couple guys coming in. Obviously, my team, we talk about it all the time. It's the Dukies. And the Dukies are bringing in twins this year. The twins, one's a tower, one's a little guy. Okay, so we got the point guard and the center / power forward in the Boozer twins. Obviously, most of you would know if you know anything about basketball. Carlos Boozer's their dad. Played the NBA many years with the Bulls and the Cavs and the Jazz and some other teams over the years. So obviously they always have their 5-star guys coming in. But unfortunately, lately, they are always Sweet 16, top 8. They don't really get to the finals like they really should be. Sometimes they got too much talent, don't know how to use it all right and everything. But I'm looking for a good year from the Dukies, and we'll see what happens from there. And that's my college synopsis.
Mine's going to be a lot shorter than that. So I'm going to go Duke number 1 by the end of the season.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of college. I'm too much into the NBA, watching too many games, so I rely on Mark to kind of fill me in halfway through the season on who the guys are to watch. I always enjoy
because you got to
watching
be seeing who's getting drafted for next year.
That's the only time I ever pay attention is who's coming out, who's going to be there, because I have to pass my messages on to Jeannie Buss and the Lakers staff to make sure they know who to look at under the radar. Like Austin Reeves, that was all me. I was the one that said, "Hey, this kid didn't get drafted. Hold on, go after this kid." I don't know what.
Where did he go to college, Dan? Dan, where did he go to college?
He went to 2 colleges. He started off. He started off at a college, and then he went to another college before he graduated.
So you don't know what college you went to?
I did. At one point, I did.
Okay,
Road, Nebraska. I don't know.
All right. Next time you come on, you better know that knowledge.
I will have that keyed up, ready to go. So
right,
I try to wait till the season starts, really get into it. March Madness is when I probably watch it the most, which a lot of people
that's most. That's
Duke is the one team that I actually watch those games during the season, so I can have more conversations with your dad about the Duke.
That's right, Dan. We came and visited you down there in North Carolina when you were staying for a little bit. We went.
Yeah.
Me and Luke went to the Cameron Indoor Stadium. We had a great time.
When Zion was on the team.
Yeah, even though they did lose the game we went to against Syracuse, but that was okay. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had going to basically it's like a high school gym, and it was amazing. Just the atmosphere it's like no other. Just like they showed on TV, the crazies. That's what sports and college sports are all about, is the atmosphere, and that made it unforgettable.
That was a good year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lukey Duke, any comments on the college basketball?
I really don't have any comments on the college basketball this year. I know nothing about the college basketball, especially since it hasn't started yet. So maybe later in the season I'll have some more analysis for you. But
All right.
I'm a Duke fan, so I'll go with Duke ending at number 1 at the end of the season. So just like Dan said, so
I'll take Duke too, number 1.
This is the
and
Duke
by the way,
squad
the reason why that BYU, they have a couple guys from last year there, but they got that number 1 guy this year, AJ Batistan is his name, and he is really good. And I see Kansas, by the way, moving back up the ladder. They got a real good guy too this year from what's his name? Oh, Darren Peterson to Kansas, AJ Bantassa to BYU, and Cameron Boozer to the Dukies. Those are your top 3 guys coming in.
Cool.
All right.
That's all we got for the NBA and a little college here, just over 1 hour and 10 minutes here. So we're all basketballed out, and we'll catch you over at the football side, and a lot more to talk about as the season goes on with basketball. So thanks for coming on the pod, Dan, to give your wisdom for basketball.
Glad to be here. I'll be back mid-season for a mid-season review.
Sounds good.
We'll mark you down.
All right.
Deuces.